and I really believe that right now we're going to see a slight correction in prices of homes. This is the opportunity for buyers to get into the market.
But what in the world is going on in Florida? Housing inventory is increasing at a rapid rate. A friend of mine just bought a house in Florida and was able to negotiate $95,000 on the total sell price of the house. Yes, $95,000. You heard correct. The house was on the market a little bit longer and potentially needed a little bit of work here or there. But the point is to always try to negotiate when you're buying a house. Don't always buy at the sell price. As of right now, a lot of competition kind of slowed down. If you're a buyer and you want to be a little bit aggressive, is try to negotiate. I've been personally passively looking for a house at the moment, the past 6 to 12 months, and this is the most inventory I've ever seen. I remember looking at on Zillow, and I was only able to find 1 or 2 houses that met the criteria that I was looking for. And also, according to CoreLogic, the Palm Bay and Melbourne area have a 70% probability of having a price cut. Now, let's take a look at the chart here. This is the top markets at risk for price decline. As you can see, Palm Bay, Melbourne area, Atlanta, Washington, Deltona Beach, Florida, and Naples, Immokalee, and Marcos Island, guys. 3 out of the 5 listed here is in Florida. So Florida is technically in trouble at the moment. So this is a pretty good chart that's indicating what's in the near future for Florida. And this is pretty scary. As you can see, if you go up a little bit more and what the percentage where as far as changes in home prices. So definitely a tick down in Miami, and then Washington, Chicago, Boston, Denver, Houston, Phoenix. So there is some form of decline looming, but 70% chance is extremely high as far as a probability of decline. So we will see. I can almost guarantee we will see a lot of declines, especially for the state of Florida. Another thing I could possibly think of that would actually play as a factor to the housing market is that unemployment rate went up to 4%, which is showing a weakness in the labor market, which would kind of force the Federal Reserve to drop interest rate, maybe sometime this year or next year. But at the moment, the mortgage rate is at 7%. If the Fed cut the rates down to 6.5% or 6%, or however, this may bring some buyers back in the market, but also it will trigger a lot of inventory. I do have a quick video here to show you of Christine Jordan, former Bravo star of $1 Million Star listing, which is explaining why certain region might be in trouble, which pretty much might pinpoint Florida as one of the #1 state that might be in some.
And I really believe that right now we're going to see a slight correction in prices of homes. This is the opportunity for buyers to get into the market.
But we're not seeing that yet, right? The slight correction. I mean, that's what buyers are waiting for.
There is definitely a lag in the data that we're seeing. What we know is working is location, location, location. Those are the areas where they're still holding prices very, very strong. We're seeing that there's a lack of inventory in the top locations in the U.S. that never had an issue in the first place.
Right.
It's the parts of the U.S. that saw really, I would say, inflated demand that came from really, really cheap money that happened over the last 5 years.
And a prior demand, if I correct me if I'm wrong, was built on people who shouldn't have gotten mortgages in the first place. So we're much tougher standards now, but as they gotten tougher still, and that's going to complicate things.
Oh, absolutely. And what we're going to see is there's lagging data around what's going on in the parts of the country that really had artificially doubled the prices of the homes in areas where we don't know where that demand really came from. And it was people moving around the country for a little while when they can work remotely, and they had access to a lot of cheap money. And so we'll see. I think that's where we're going to see this lagging correction adjustment that will come over the next several quarters.
A lot of the demands that came to Florida was out of nowhere because of mass relocation and cheap money. But most of this region's area prices shouldn't have been that high in the first place, now making it due for a decline. Another thing is the average American and middle class can't afford a home, and if they do purchase a home, they have a high monthly payment due to the high interest rate environment. So it's not really an attractive thing right now to purchase a home. It's actually a burden. So most people are choosing to actually rent instead of buying right now. And also, most importantly, if you are in the market for a home, guys, make sure you negotiate and see if you can take the price down a little bit. And hopefully you can buy into the house with some form of equity. But definitely is to try to always negotiate with this form of housing market that we've seen. Like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Thanks.